All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's 2 o'clock. We'll call this board briefing to order. And we will be starting off today with Mr. Mike Gleason, who's online in his car, it looks like.
That's correct.
Good afternoon, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My remarks will be brief. Had a chance to review this in a work session with the commission. In keeping with a management tradition that the commission has created, which was to review operations thoroughly with operational review after a year or more. We undertook a central services operations study. There were 26 people that were contacted, and they're all stakeholders plus the commissioners. And the findings were really quite positive. The staff in general were very pleased that the changes had been made around central services and the new executive director. There was, I think, general interest and maybe even excitement in the process that we're undertaking to continue to make continuous change, and that there are several operational systems that are in need of change, and that is one of the recommendations we make in the report. We also discovered that the executive team or the managers of the organization are generally feeling more involved and more of a team effort, which is, I think, a very good sign. The pace of change has been fast, and everybody agreed with that. But they all kind of felt that it was necessary and at least bearable. The efforts to continue the reorganization and systematic review of systems has received a very positive response, but they've also said be careful about pace. We've all got to do a lot of work, and you're going to have to be very thoughtful about the pace at which you make this change. And I thought it was an important comment. There was also, and this actually has already started, a desire for the managers to be more involved and be more informed and supportive. And to that extent, I know that you've already done some work on that particular effort. The recommendations that we made, were pretty straightforward. There's a uniform agreement that central services is a key increase in productivity and needs to continue to behave as a important support system for the operation of the managers. And there was agreement that was happening, and the desire is that continue even in a more formal way. I recommend that the county use task teams to organize and develop future solutions around systems. The task teams ought to be designed around the people that actually create and use the systems, but not one department can undertake that assignment because all of these task teams overlap each other, and the integration of the teamwork is an essential part of the change agenda that needs to take place. We also recommend that the commission adopt a comprehensive operating standard for management, that they do that by ordinance, and that we would begin a formal training program with the managers such that they are able to achieve the commission's expectations, and hopefully it would make the organizational systems operate more elegantly with the knowledge of all the managers about each of the various changes. Um, the uh, the task teams, I know you already use task teams, and maybe even to this degree, but the task teams need to be created with a very specific charge. And the expectation is that they would have a time frame and support operationally if they needed it. Also, it's not, task teams are not just to be assigned by senior managers. We need to have the people in there that are most affected and most responsible so that they're getting a direct contact in terms of the system. Part of the management training would be systems training. Don't suggest that this is terribly exotic, but there is a method by which one undertakes analysis of systems and best practices that needs to become an organizational habit. And the best way to do that is to have a training session around those behaviors. And also want to have the concept considered of what we would call train the trainer. If we can develop a cadre of people within the organization that have the training skills around these subjects, then they can be called on by other parts of the organization that need training without having to go out and do an RFP or an RFQ. Although that is a recommendation, it's got to be implemented very carefully because there's a limited amount of capacity for doing that. Um, and then one of the things that we suggest you continue is you're doing a lot of development of skill within the organization. That is moving people up into roles that they hadn't been and backing them up with support from expert organizations or consultants. That has been working well. And it has helped a lot on your recruitment issue. I think more of that should be considered in the future. Once again, uh, you can only handle so much of that, but so far, I guess I would say so good. Um, are there any questions?
I don't have any questions. No,
Nope, no questions for me.
none from us. Can you hear me, Mike?
I am done.
Oh, you're done.
Yeah.
That was a,
But if you don't want to
that was
ask
a
any
very
questions,
abrupt way of shaky cam being done. All right.
well, I think there's an ordinance in front of you, if I'm not mistaken,
An ordinance?
No.
No,
a
No.
motion.
no.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
Well, very good.
This
Then,
was just a presentation from you. And we have nothing else to add at this point.
No, just, he's thinking of the next step. So you have a board order that says, during the creation of central services and the chief administrative officer position, it's a probationary period. So, the next step, if the board is interested, is to, adopt a board order that establishes the permanency of that. So that's what he's referring to.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
You want to do that ordinance?
Okay, want some direction with that? Yes,
Okay.
let's go and prepare that.
Thank you, Mike.
thank you for bailing me out.
You had just said, I recommend.
Well, this has to be the shortest presentation I've ever given to you guys. So I'm improving.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right.
Maybe just to add one other thing, so his recommendations that he has suggested, he's correct and we're already implementing. Task teams, you're gonna hear about one of them, in Deborah's budget presentation. And the management standards, I've received Mike's draft of that
Mhm.
and I've started adapting that to a policy. I'm gonna send it to Mackenzie here in the next day or so, so you should be seeing that very soon.
Okay.
It's a little lengthy, but I think it's all good, so. no big
Okay,
It's on this one to have a little bit more information, so that's forthcoming.
great, thanks. All right, next up, Deborah and Rachel. With some budget process discussions.
Okay, what we have today is a budget process improvement proposal, looking for feedback and direction. Yes. Oh, to spread around.
I'm glad you have copies.
I already got mine. I walked in and like, do you have, or do I have to go back up and print them? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Start again. We have the budget process improvement proposal for you to review and provide feedback. So what we are proposing is a redesign on how the county builds, presents, and reports the budget. There's 3 related but separable pieces, and you see that in the phased timeline. Not timeline, sorry. Phases. It is, we start with a baseline of the current state survey, and I've included a draft of the survey, really to measure how much time is going into our current budget, the understanding of our current budget, and how staff are utilizing it after the budget process. From there, we'll also perform a zero-based budgeting exercise, and I propose to do that this summer, going through each department's budgets for the 26-27, rolling up GL detail to lay into that and making sure that we understand what is underneath each and every line item in departments' budgets. I would be working with departments on that. It wouldn't be me looking at it alone. I'd be reaching out to departments to fully understand how we're currently building our budgets. Then we'd utilize that zero-based budget exercise to inform and develop a base budget for the 27-28 budget cycle. Zero-based budget should add visibility to the additions and deletions and really focus on those once we have that clear understanding of our zero-based budget. We'd also meet with 1 to 2 software providers to scope capabilities and possibilities for both the budget and the finance, as those are really closely integrated softwares. We'd work with task teams to identify best processes and platforms that work countywide. We have a wide range of departments and how they utilize the budget and what they need from it. And we'd be working with that task team to help the process be the most efficient and effective for everybody. So that would update for the 27-28 budget cycle, although the timeline is fluid with this, as there's a lot of interrelated pieces, a lot of moving pieces, and it touches countywide. So why are we looking at this? The current budget does what state law requires and not much else. Gives us, if you have a few hours, line item detail of a department's budget, but it doesn't give you much information on how we serve, what services are provided by those departments, the alignment with county priorities. None of that is included in our current document, and that would be a success goal on this project. We also don't have a resident-facing summary for quick understanding. We built a budget in brief document this year, completely outside of the budget process itself. And that was thanks to Brian, who shared an example with me. Besides all of that, the budget process itself is completely manual and spreadsheet based. This leaves a lot of room for error. This leaves a lot of room for, it consumes a lot of staff time and doesn't leave a lot of time for analysis in the end. So what success looks like, again, budget the public can understand, user efficiencies, more strategic priority line decisions, and long-term sustainable thinking through our budget process. On the recommended phases, so again, this is where we see that 3-phase interrelated process. There's a budget process, a budget software, and a financial software. So the first phase would be initiate and establish baseline, as we talked about, the survey, seeing how people are using it, how much time they're spending on it, the understanding of our current budget. And then analyze and recruit task team. I have already recruited the task team and confirmed. We have Brandy Norbaum with IT, Chris Lady with Public Works, Karen Kronoff with the Sheriff's Office, Ken Henson, part of our budget committee, Rachel Haggerty, and Sarah Absher, all representing different aspects of the budget and department's needs. We then go to current state and requirements. So once we have all those survey results back, I'd map out the existing time and costs, understanding and utilization of our current budget, see what would best fit as we move forward, or what efficiencies we can find as we move forward. Then we go to solutions and design and selection. So through the zero-based budgeting exercise, we would find really our true base and decide what tools and processes will help us build from there. And then we pilot with our, starting with our task team, getting feedback, sounding board with that, and move to train and go live to departments. And again, timeline is very fluid throughout the process. So over all of this, we, in the end, have to meet ORS 294 budget compliance throughout. So we will always have that line item detail budget, but we want to look at how we build a better, more meaningful budget in the end on top of that. So to go over, I threw a couple of different budgeting methods out there, and I just want to go over them in detail so we understand. First one, zero-based budgeting. I said I'm proposing to do an exercise on that this summer. That is, let me see, I have a good definition of it.
And when you say that, do you mean this summer?
I
Like
do.
The next 2 weeks?
Okay, summer, fall.
How long does your summer go?
Also fluid timeline.
Thank you.
A zero-based budget means every dollar is justified. Every line item we see in the budget, we can drill down to a contract, what good you propose to purchase. We already know that the personnel is detailed out underneath salaries and benefits. So really honing in on materials and services and capital outlay. Base budgeting this is where we have a valid base budget. This is what that zero base is going to provide us. And from there, it's that base budget is our current service level, cleanly documented. Then we separate decision packages on anything above that. So additions and deletions get pulled out and highlighted through the budget process. There are other budgeting methods, and those are the ones that we're looking towards in the future, and that's program-based. So you organize and present the budget by what the county does, the program services. So not only does it highlight the budget itself, it highlights what our departments are providing to the community and gives them a clear picture, clear picture on what departments are doing. Performance-based is layered on top of a program-based budget typically. Performance-based adds measures and metrics to the programs to see how they're doing alongside priorities. And then there's a full priority-based. So this method is a program scored and ranked against adopted community priorities. That one's very advanced. And we are not in a position to do that, but it's another budgeting method that is out there and could be future goals.
Deborah, do you just want to expand on which budgeting system we're currently doing now, essentially, and how we're going to use the program budgeting a little bit?
Yeah. So currently we are utilizing a form of base budgeting or incremental budgeting where we use prior year information and we're rolling it forward. That is, we base it off of our budget last year in a lot of departments. And that is, it allows for the opportunity for things that may have been relevant years ago, but may not be so much now, and leaves rooms for questions underneath the amounts in each line item. So we're utilizing what's called a base budget or incremental line item budgeting method currently. What would be going to, what the goal would be currently is the program based. That what the next part of it was?
Yeah, you're going to overlay. We're not doing a full program. For like
Right. Well,
depicted as a program.
so we will continue to have that line item detail in the proposed budget method for 27, 28, but the program base would be an overlay, a standard grouping of our departments based on their services they provide that would overlay those line items so that we get a clearer picture on what that 2 pages of line items mean and what they're providing.
Yeah, so you saw an example of this in her last report where she was lumping
Public
community,
safety.
public safety. So you started seeing that in the reports, but we don't look at it from that view in the budget. And we don't have a strategic plan that really says what your priorities are yet, but you can start dabbling with depicting the budget from a program perspective for, I think, mostly the public's input or transparency.
Right. So any questions there? Feedback?
No questions. Great work, though. I looked at all of these documents and I'm just really grateful for this direction. And for it was interesting to me, like to think about zero-based budgeting, which is hard to do by yourself or if you're new. But I appreciate your approach that you're going to do it with leaders and get your baseline that way. I love the idea of priority-based budgeting, and I hope we get there. I hope we get to where we're making financial decisions that are aligned with our strategic plan, our financial strategic plan. And I liked the survey of people, how they're doing the budget now, how they're using it. So I think this is just a lot of great work, great direction.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm excited about this. I've been saying this for a long time. If I can understand it, then a lot of other people will understand it. The only thing that clicks with me again is you're using 2 different words in the air. And as a writer, I'm just saying, some places you're saying resident, and other places you're saying public.
Oh, sure.
And for me,
Yeah.
I'm one for just, I think public is more inclusive of whoever might be looking at our document. But I love how transparent we're heading and like I said, aligning it with our priorities and being able to see results. It was fantastic work. Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, shall we go over the success metrics and see if there's anything we need to add in there as part of the project? So primary goals for this project are simplicity and public understanding, public. Plain language budget organized by community priority or what's funded and why. So that's the number one goal. Underneath of that for public understanding is spending shown by priority or program, not only by fund and line item detail. Again, that's very time consuming and it takes a lot of analysis to understand what you're looking at in a line item detail budget. Public engagement, so views and downloads of the budget summary and questions and comments at hearings would give us an understanding if people are understanding the budget as we present it. Number two is better committee decisions. I shouldn't say better committee decisions, better data for the committee to decide on and strategic goal alignment. So that priority comparison, that's a future goal, would help support that as well. 3 is modernizing the budget, streamlining the process itself, the build of it, reducing manual work in Excel. And 4 is elevate budget workflows. So right now we email back and forth for our budget process. It's hard to keep track of and not a transparent or collaborative process. We're just shooting things back and forth to make deadlines for a budget, right? The next is to align revenues and economics. So are we really budgeting based on reality? And that's where our zero-based baseline comes in and we get to that base budget in reality, given our current zero-based. Long-term sustainable thinking. So shifting away from the one-year look to long-term look and what is best for us, not only in this 1 year, but in 5 to 10 years. 7th goal is service delivery. So shift from profit and loss to what are we providing and what services needs are being met and not met. Next is centralized strategic budget priorities. So departments currently own their budgets, but we're all part of the same organization. And the budget process should show that as we're walking through it. Cohesive organization. So decrease the conflict as we walk through the budget process would be another goal. Those enabling goals would be efficiency, better data, ease of staff use, and transparency through education. So another goal in this project would be to get a budget manual and training info out to departments and the public to get better, complete understanding of the budget document, what it is, why it is, and what's included in it.
Those are great metrics.
Is there anything glaringly missing or anything that should be removed?
Not that I can think of.
Other than the draft survey, that is all of the documents I had for the project. Were there any questions on the draft survey? Do we want to go through it?
I didn't have any, but I agree it was good information. and your Department heads will let you know if there's something else they need to know.
Right. Yeah,
Other, that one other box,
Great
of
idea.
other.
yeah.
You know, it's kind of off the subject, but the one thing I wondered while I was reading the draft survey is, I wonder if we don't, I don't think we have a similar way to learn about the work of our citizen budget committee members. I wonder how many hours they put into studying the budget or how much, you know what I mean? Because I was thinking about how do we need a new budget committee member and so, you know, maybe we need to recruit somebody. And it would be really cool to have a clear picture of
include Ken Henson and
Yes.
Michael.
Yeah.
Eisenfluh.
And you could include MJ, I bet she'd,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
If you reached out, she'd probably pull one out too.
Everybody.
That's it.
No, thank you
done.
very much, and we'll look
Yeah.
forward to that
Online.
fluidly happening.
Thank
I
you.
had that same thought. I was like, summer. Summer's almost over.
Sadly.
I know.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay,
you. Deborah.
thank you.
All right, move on to our third topic, which is employee appreciation events. Mackenzie,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Let me ask, you can ask a question, maybe you can answer it. And I appreciate it, because it feels like have we started formatting things a certain way, a look, like, are we presenting documents? Because this looks very similar to Deborah's stuff. I'm just wondering if we're doing that intentionally, where because currently each department kind of does their own thing, and it's kind of nice if we have a standardized thing. I was just.
Yeah, we don't. I think it's a complete coincidence that it looks like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mr. Communications over there, he's gonna upscale us.
They're clean look, it doesn't look typewritten, it's like, not like old school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just appreciate it.
I think
If
it's.
there isn't that attempt, I like it anyway. I just want to make notice, and I wasn't sure if it was
Yeah,
intentional.
I think there's definitely a more intentional practice of presenting things to you that are more complete. So I think that's maybe an outcome of what you've been seeing instead of just, for example, her coming up and giving you some notes that she's just reading.
Sure.
Take
Yeah,
on-
no, I think it's great. It's the PR guy in me.
Hey, which is good. We don't pay for one of those other than you, so
Right.
stop. Keep it up.
Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, so we will talk about employee appreciation. We're doing a lot more with employee recognition. This falls into kind of the same bucket. So, over the past 2 years, granted, this has been happening far longer than 2 years, but the 2 years since I've been here, HR has coordinated several holiday appreciation events with relatively low employee turnout. We have typically the same 15 to 20 attendees out of roughly 300 employees. These events require meaningful staff time, often 20 plus more hours of me, Kelly, Mary Jo's time, and sometimes from other departments as well. And on an average, we spend roughly $5,300 between, prizes, supplies, and employee time for activities, again, that are attended by limited and mostly repeating group of employees. So, to ensure our efforts reflect needs, schedules, and preferences of all staff, we would like to conduct an employee appreciation and engagement survey that focuses on what types of appreciation employees value. Preferred formats, whether that's in-person, virtual, informal, department-based, or countywide. Ideal days and times for attendance, whether that's during work hours or after hours or on the weekends. What current barriers there are to participation in the current holiday events we've been having. And ideas for inclusive, accessible events that benefit a broader portion of our staff. The rationale behind this is better alignment with employee preferences. So our current holiday events primarily serve, again, a small group, despite significant costs and time investment. A survey ensures we hear from employees across departments, schedules, and work sites. And then improved resource stewardship. So results will inform planning of appreciation activities that are cost effective, widely accessible, and reflective of what staff genuinely value. The other rationale is we would maintain the beloved traditions. So we propose keeping the Secret Santa. Again, that's very limited time, essentially 15 minutes of my time to create a flyer and send out the little survey. So that is not a big deal. And then the courthouse decorating, which involves minimal staff time and little cost to the county, which is thoroughly enjoyed year over year by everybody. I think that's a really great event where we get to see employee creativity. Everybody in this building is very competitive when it comes to that decorating contest. And a lot of those activities are done before or after work hours, on breaks, during lunch. And so again, little to no cost to the county at all to continue that tradition. The outcome. So The survey would provide actionable data, allowing HR to design appreciation efforts that reach more employees, increase feeling of inclusion and recognition, maintain our fiscal responsibility, and reduce unnecessary coordination time for events with low turnout. And then it would support a culture where employees feel genuinely appreciated. So the request today is to seek your support with moving forward with the survey proposal. And then based on employee feedback and within the budget that HR has budgeted this year, I would present the board a range of options that fall within those, likely in September for further guidance and direction.
Okay,
That's what I had.
Sounds good. Yep, appreciate it.
sounds great.
Wow. Okay, that's
How hard
easy
did you
then.
think it was gonna be?
Not hard. I know, I was sitting over there
The
thinking the same
the
thing.
heck with those
They're really quiet
employees.
tonight.
Go forth
Okay.
and do good things.
Okay,
Appreciate my
sounds good.
employees.
The last time, I was thinking while you were talking, that the first and last time, there was a really fabulous turnout for the holiday party was before you were here. It was before COVID. And Chris, in the back of the room, had everything to do with that. He was like MC and he led this wild, rousing game of, what was it? Bingo? Bingo?
Did you get a costume?
And-
Was he wearing a costume?
No, but there were tons of people there. It was in the upstairs meeting room. Tons of people there, tons of food. Yeah, and it was really a good time. And we haven't had anything that well attended for a long time. We fell out of the habit with COVID and then yeah.
Yeah,
So-
we'd like to bring that back. I've heard many stories from Mary Jo, who's been here a long time, so.
Really
Yeah.
nice, yeah, yeah,
Circle.
and maybe, I wonder if people would show up and bring their kids for some kind of summer thing.
Mhm.
I love stuff like that. I'd love to meet people's families.
Yeah. All right,
Sounds great.
thank you.
Okay. Weekly updates. Anything you want to add that we haven't talked about today?
Come back to me.
I have one.
Oh, good.
Then I've asked Rachel's help on this. At the was Chris on? Oh, this is part of the other thing.
That's the executive.
I will be at the Fire Defense Board meeting tomorrow, and I have requested or asked them if they would consider writing a letter to ODOT and ODF regarding removing abandoned RVs off of public right of ways and forest. This one, I'm sure Brian's nodding his head because he drives by it all the time, the one on Highway 6, which is very fire danger. It's right against dry grass. Anyways, during that meeting, I brought that up and, the whole state's on fire, so that wasn't a priority, except at the end of the meeting, the state fire marshal and the state forester both said, all we can do now is to try to prevent any human created fires. And to me, we just had one in Netards on the dumper that started a forest fire or a wildfire, brush fire. So they agreed to take that up and talk about it tomorrow. I'll let you know how that goes. And they would be writing the letter coming from them rather than us.
Thank you. I think that's a great idea. And I thought I saw an email come through from Randy canceling it. So maybe he was canceling a different meeting, but
Well, with Randy and I both tried to attack this from different areas. He went for that particular trailer. He went to Emergency Management Washington County. The problem is, like we all know, that nobody wants these things.
I'm canceling the meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, Chief has sent the agenda yesterday.
I just talked to
Okay.
Todd an hour ago.
Okay, then it was something else.
Yeah, I talked to Todd an hour ago to make sure that he was good with it. So anyway,
Sorry.
that's okay. But Randy did try to address this from an emergency management angle with Washington County. They did tag it. It's in their county, that particular one. But no tow truck companies would take it. If it was in our county, this gentleman sitting in front of us would probably remove it, just to keep the fire hazard down. Not Dan.
We're adding that to parks, Dan.
This was one of the two chiefs I talked to that have had to put out fires of these things. Interesting. It's just another,
Good idea.
I don't want the timber to burn.
Yeah.
We don't have the resources right now. They're all fighting fires somewhere else. So that's all I had. So I'll let you know how that goes.
I don't think I had anything else. I did mine this morning.
I don't think I do.
Well, with that, any staff or public comments? No? Okay, with that, I will adjourn. We're going to go into an executive session at 2:40 PM.
Under,
Sorry, I forgot
Mr.
that.
Chair, right, it'd be pursuant to ORS 192.660, subparagraph 2E, to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to negotiate real property transactions.
Great. Sorry, I forgot to do that. Thanks. Okay, we are back to our board briefing. We are out of the executive session. I adjourned that, and then we will adjourn our board briefing at 2:51 PM. Thank you.